episode 9. Well, after the trials and tribulations of losing my whole game and having to reconstruct, I thought I'd just take you through a couple of the changes. The ploughed field over there, of course, had a whole lot of straw waiting to be collected, and I reckon there was about 50 bales there that we lost out. This was a flaxseed field. Luckily, when I came to reconstruct, it was already a flaxseed field, so I just swathed it just in case it disappeared and somebody did it on a contract. So I just did a swathing there to get us back to there. Of course, we will find that that field was in nowhere near as good a condition as the one that we lost. This field, I think we had just ploughed. I don't think we had planted it. It's now got wheat in it, which we will harvest, and we'll take that little bonus. Right, let's get back to the farm. So the vehicles are pretty much all the same, except I have an extra trailer, and I've also got an extra seeder. Now, we did have some stock in the silo, about 80,000 litres of barley, I think it was. Also, we had about 3,500 litres of lentils in there. So with the funds that we would have got for that, I bought the extra seeder. Then we had a cultivator, and I couldn't remember what it was, so we got that John Deere cultivator instead. These greenhouses are the same. There would of course have been very little production in there because we've got it set to sell, so there wouldn't have been a huge amount in there. This barn is pretty much the same, except I haven't put the internal lights in. I'll probably do that at some time. I just didn't get around to it. The bees are pretty much the same, except I've made a slightly better track. Still got the two main beehives, and that is pretty much in the same spot it was. This shed is slightly over to the right compared to where it was, a couple of feet, so that's not stuck into the bank. And the front end is now gravel instead of dirt. This little area in the front. The sheep, I couldn't quite remember exactly how much I had of what, so I've just put 20 fully grown sheep in there, and whether that's more or less, I'm not sure. I'm pretty much, I would say, balanced out. Maybe slightly in my favour, but hey, extra work to be done. That shed and the multigrain silo are slightly back from where they were. The silo is pretty much in the same spot, as is the maple syrup selling station. We get up to the house area, a couple of minor changes there. I've removed the workshop box from the corner there and just replaced it with the jet wash. I've moved the diesel pump to the edge of the house there. It was down in this little corner and it created a little bit of a dip there, so just tidied that up a little bit so that it's a little bit easier to refill the vehicles. And then I've put the workshop box around the corner. We will eventually get ourselves a decent workshop and just use that for any repairs that need to be done in the fields, etc. The house is pretty much the same, and we'll have a little sleep and get going. Right, so now we are to all intents and purposes back. We've got two contracts. Field 6 is a cultivating contract, nice and big, and field 42 was a harvesting contract of flax. I did in my head when I took on that contract think that I would be able to harvest the straw from the flax field, but of course, being on console, we don't have that luxury. Right, so let's get to the first contract. We'll get the cultivating contract going. It's a big one, and most probably will go into next month, because we'll do it sort of in between the other jobs. We'll go and get it started until the sun comes up. And here we are, let's get going. Works at a reasonable width, but it's still going to take plenty of time. So until we've got a bit better light to do the harvesting, we did quite a bit, made a huge headland really, and we put it onto a worker, and we put on the lizard pickup tool and put it on front of the harvester so that we can harvest the swath of flax. Let's get it all opened up and we'll get going. Oops, we need to go put that onto swathing again, not spreading. We don't want all the straw spread all over the place. We want to be able to pick it up, and it goes at a reasonable pace. Still take a little while. I did find that I was struggling a little bit because the color changes between the harvested and the harvested swath and the swath to be harvested is, I mean, it's noticeable, but yeah, sometimes I got a little bit confused. Right, so we're just about done with that, and the yield is not fantastic, as to be expected, because the field really hadn't been looked after, so we didn't quite get a full load, a full harvester, but them's the breaks, as they say. So we'll probably lose a little bit of money there, but I think overall we've come out pretty okay. I think it looks like we've got a little bit of extra money, but there's money that we've lost, and of course harvesting this field we would ultimately lose quite a few bales of straw, and of course seed, flax seed, which would have lost a little bit of money. So I'm quite comfortable that the extra money, we started with 101,000, we've got 160,000, plus we've got the seeder as well, and an extra trailer. So I think I'm quite comfortable that it's fairly balanced. Maybe slightly in my favor, maybe not, I don't know. But in the event, we are back. Right, let's just go and jump back into the trailer. We've got the small tractor on there. It struggles a little bit with the big trailer, so we'll, in the reasonably near future, we'll have to buy another tractor to help with the harvesting, and we can keep this small Valtra for moving stuff, or maybe trade it in on a skid steer for working in the farmyard. Yeah, there we go. So let's first harvest back into the silo. We're just heading on down to the small flaxseed field that we're going to do on contract. I think it's field 42 if I'm not mistaken. We'll just get that done quickly. It's a small field, so we'll just do it ourselves. Get that all hooked up. I don't think we'll get a lot of extra money bonus out of any extra crop from this, because it's going to be a fairly small yield, fairly small amount, but we will make a little bit of extra. Let's get going. Yeah, so I'm still in two minds whether I should swath and harvest when we do our own flaxseed fields. I'll make that decision later. I probably will swath, because at the end of the day we need to maximize the product that we get out of it, as opposed to the time it takes to do it. Right, so we've got nowhere near, got about 2/3 of a harvester full with that little contract, so that's all done, and we'll just head on down to the wheat field. I've parked the trailer down there, and then we'll just offload directly into the trailer, get that back up to the farmers markets so that it can complete that contract, and our harvester will be ready and in the right location to do the wheat harvest. Yeah, so quite a few plans going forward. Well, as soon as we've done the wheat harvest, we'll go and harvest a little field of lentils, the field that we bought next to the farm. It's got a bit of lentils in there, won't be much, and we'll convert that into a production area. It's probably in the next episode. Let's just get this offloaded, and then we'll nip that up to the farmers market and go and deliver it. Also, we should get some straw from the wheat field that we'll be harvesting soon, and we'll have to work out what we're going to do with that straw. Got some ideas on that too. That's probably for the next episode. So the next episode, I think I'll try and get one out. I have recorded the footage, the clips, so I'll try and get one out on Sunday just to try and catch up. So I'll put another episode hopefully on Sunday. Right, so here we are, busy harvesting the straw. We delivered the contract, made a small amount, I think of it, just less than $1,000 worth of extra on the delivery. So any bonus is a good bonus, as they say. Yeah, so I was thinking about reclaiming some land, and we put an application into the council and the powers that be. But on this field it's been refused because there's quite a few ponds and they don't want to disturb the ecology. So you're not going to be able to adjust this field. However, the flaxseed field we will be able to reconvert. Now we'll have to do that again. We had already done that, and it definitely needs to be done because, as you'll see, it's just all it's just impossible to harvest in a straight line. This one as well, but we'll keep this as a straw producing field, so we'll alternate between wheat, barley on this field, and keep our straw going. Just about finished. Yep, that's it all done. We'll put this out in the put it into the trailer, and we'll put this trailer of wheat into our silo so that we can have a look and see when it's the best time to sell it. Of course, things like wheat, barley and that type of stuff we can store. Any fresh produce you need to sell straight away. Right, let's just get this header off the front, and we'll head up to the lentil field and go and harvest that. It's not far away, just right next to the farm. One of the best decisions I made was getting our farm situated so nice and centrally. Of course I did that because with contracts in mind, so it was easier to get to different places, and it's working out quite well because all the really good fields are around here, which I hadn't taken into account. Oh, I shouldn't have said it. I should have said, oh, neatly planned, because a lot of the fields around here, except for these, but the fields that we've bought already are good producing fields, over 100% yields. This is a very small field, so we'll just do that on a quick time lapse. Show the whole harvest. So a slight strange thing here, just have a look at this. As we go back forward here, we're well into this when it says you don't have access, so, and you'll see that we were, I would say, a good few feet into where we had harvested before it said we were on our own field. So not sure what's happening there. We'll see if that affects anything in the future, because yeah, this is a fairly low producing field, so I'm quite comfortable to convert this to a production area. Maybe put up a farm shop or something like that in this area as well, or maybe in the front of the farm, a little triangular sort of area. But we'll see. All these things will be dependent on where things fit and how they fit. It's a bit bumpy, this field, so we'll have to level it off. And I think we'll try and put a bridge between here and the farmyard. Although it's not much of a problem to drive around. We'll see if we can get a bridge across. Just have all sorts of different routes in and out of places. Right, so that's that done. Just offload this, and then we'll offload directly from the harvester into the into the silo. A little bit tight. I have to just get it. So there we go. So that's short and sweet. 1,000 odd litres of lentils in there. Right, I think that's where we're going to end this episode, as we put some maple syrup into the maple syrup sale point. So thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode when lots of things are happening. Once again, thank you for watching, and cheerio.